Hello, this is Richard Collins, your instructor in ATM101 Weather and Climate of Alaska here at the University of Alaska, Fairbanks. Welcome to Unit 12. In this unit we'll explore weather analysis and weather forecasting. This week we're not taking new observations and we're not going out on the web to look for new data. We're going to recycle the weather that you observed in Unit 8 and use it to examine the forecasts for that week. We provide all the forecasting data and maps on the Blackboard site, so you can work with Blackboard and your previous data to go through the investigation and concept questions this week. I strongly recommend that you review the investigation and concept questions before you do the quiz. The lecture this week is given by Eric Stevens, a forecaster with the National Weather Service. Eric has guest lectured for ATM101 several times and does a really good job of explaining weather forecasting from the perspective of a weather forecaster. And this is very important because our goal in this class with its hands-on approach to weather and weather observation is that you as the students get to experience and get an insight into what it is to be a weather forecaster. The reading this week is from chapter 13 of the textbook. The chapter attempts to reach very broadly across a variety of topics. It gives you insights into the way that the weather industry, if you will, conducts forecasting both at a national and international level, and there's lots of organizational details in there. It also attempts to give you a physical insight into the principles that underlie weather forecasting and how forecasters do forecasting and the tools that they use. I am much more interested that you take away from the class the understanding of how forecasters forecast the weather than all the facts associated with the weather forecast industry. So as you do the reading, yes, the facts about the weather forecast industry are important as general education, but I really want you to hone in on how forecasting is done from the perspective of forecasters. The issue in forecasting about success and failure is a critical issue. We all go through life saying that weather forecasters get it wrong more than they get it right, but I think it's very important to quantitatively think about that, and I'm hoping this week of investigation lets you reconsider how well you think about success and failure in forecasting. Remember, weather forecasting is not creating horoscopes. Weather forecasting is an attempt to predict a well-defined physical future. It's an amazing enterprise. It's underlaid by scientific principles, but it is not underlaid by absolute knowledge, and like any telling of the future, it is inherently uncertain. And the work this week gives you an idea of what are the sources of uncertainty in that scientific effort, but also gives you a sense of how much art and science come together in the minds of forecasters to make accurate forecasts, drawing on their experience, intuition, and insight, as well as all the scientific tools. How good a forecast is depends on how sensitive you are to the weather. You can look at a forecast and say, is it successful in predicting the temperature plus or minus 5 degrees Celsius? A huge part of that is, does that plus or minus 5 degrees Celsius cross the freezing line? That may be a threshold for agriculture. A huge part of that may depend on whether you're going camping that weekend or you're planning an outdoor wedding that weekend. I'm still amazed by my niece's composure when 6 inches of rain fell on her garden wedding site and turned it into a mud bath the morning of her wedding. She got married later that day, but her composure was truly amazing. So as we talk about success and failure, it's important to say, what is reasonable success and failure? A forecast of no precipitation that then plays out with some minor precipitation, is that truly a failure? Winds coming from the southeast when they were forecast to be from the south. Predicting the wind speed plus or minus 5 miles per hour, is that good enough? So as you work through the material, think about what are reasonable metrics for success and failure as you think about weather forecasting, and also to think about our sensitivity to the weather forecast based on our activities. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact myself or the TA. Thank you and good luck.